The practice of semen retention, SR, often referred to by the Sanskrit term brahmacharya, continence, is an ancient discipline that has seen a significant modern resurgence. Far from being merely a physical act of abstinence, proponents frame it as a comprehensive lifestyle change and a profound path towards self-mastery. The central promise that draws modern adherents to this practice is the achievement of a newfound stability, a holistic state encompassing enhanced focus, emotional resilience, heightened energy, and a deeper sense of inner peace. This essay will explore the historical and philosophical underpinnings of semen retention, dissect the physiological and psychological claims made by its practitioners, and argue that the profound stability achieved is less a direct biological consequence of retention and more a result of the rigorous discipline, psychological transmutation, and holistic lifestyle overhaul that the practice inherently demands. At its core, semen retention involves consciously avoiding ejaculation for extended periods. This idea is not new. It is deeply embedded within Eastern spiritual traditions, where the conservation of Jing, Taoism, or the transformation of sexual energy into ojas, yoga, forms a cornerstone of esoteric philosophy. The stability sought is not fleeting. It is a foundational, unshakable state that, according to practitioners, allows one to navigate the complexities of modern life with unwavering resolve. The pursuit of this internal equilibrium is what separates the discipline of SR from simple celibacy or temporary abstinence. To understand the concept of stability in SR, one must first appreciate its origins in classical Asian philosophy. The traditions of yoga, tantra, and Taoism all place immense value on sexual energy as the most potent form of life force, or prana. In Hindu and yogic philosophy, the term brahmacharya literally translates to conduct consistent with Brahma, or following the path of the divine. While often interpreted simply as celibacy, a deeper understanding defines it as the disciplined and conscious control over all sensual impulses, particularly the sexual drive. The key concept here is the transformation of bindu, semen, the physical seed, into ojas, spiritual and intellectual vitality. Ojas is considered the highest form of energy stored in the brain and nervous system, which promotes robust health, mental clarity, and spiritual enlightenment. The stability derived from this practice is thus spiritual, an anchoring of the self in higher consciousness by conserving the most fundamental life essence. Similarly, in Taoist internal alchemy, sexual essence is known as Jing, one of the three treasures, Jing, Qi, and Shen. Jing is the source of physical life, vitality, and longevity. The Taoist concept of circulating the vital energy aims not just at conservation, but at actively returning the Jing to repair the brain. By preventing the outward expenditure of Jing through ejaculation, the energy is redirected and recycled upward, where it nourishes the nervous system and intellect, Shen. The resulting stability is framed as increased longevity, physical resilience, and profound calmness, Shen. These ancient systems viewed sexual energy as a finite resource, the conservation of which was directly proportional to one's stability, vitality, and potential for self-realization. Modern advocates of semen retention often focus on the physiological benefits, primarily centered on testosterone production, physical energy, and deep focus. The claim is that retaining semen leads to a marked increase in free testosterone, which in turn drives physical vitality and aggressive motivation. From a scientific standpoint, the hormonal claims are complex and often overstated. Studies tracking testosterone levels during periods of short-term abstinence, typically 7 to 10 days, have sometimes shown transient spikes, but long-term, sustained abstinence does not show a linear increase in baseline free testosterone levels beyond the normal range for men. The body maintains hormonal homeostasis. Therefore, the newfound stability experienced by practitioners may not be the result of a massively elevated testosterone level, but rather the avoidance of the immediate post-orgasmic hormonal and neurological shift. The key physiological factor is likely the circumvention of the post-orgasmic refractory period, PORP. Ejaculation triggers a release of prolactin, a hormone associated with sexual satiety and mental fatigue. High prolactin levels are directly correlated with the brain fog and lethargy often reported after orgasm. By avoiding this release, practitioners maintain a steady, high-energy baseline throughout the day. This sustained energy provides the physiological stability necessary for consistent effort, motivation, and mental clarity, which is a key component of the overall sense of stability. The energy is constant, not punctuated by crashes, allowing for a more predictable and robust daily performance. Perhaps the most universally cited and arguably the most impactful benefit of semen retention is the profound psychological stability it engenders. This stability is directly rooted in the practice of self-mastery. Sexual impulsivity is a fundamental human drive. Successfully controlling and redirecting this drive builds immense self-efficacy. The psychological impact of SR can be broken down into three components: increased willpower and discipline. The decision to adhere to a practice that counters biological and societal conditioning requires monumental willpower. Each day of successful retention serves as a small victory, reinforcing the individual's belief in their ability to control their mind and body. This heightened sense of discipline spills over into other areas of life: work ethic, financial habits, exercise routines, creating a stable, predictable behavioral foundation. Reduced impulsivity. SR forces an individual to confront and manage urges, creating a gap between stimulus, sexual thought/urge, and response, ejaculation. This gap is the birthplace of psychological stability and emotional control. By practicing non-reaction to the most powerful of human urges, the mind becomes adept at non-reaction to smaller, daily stressors and temptations, leading to a calmer, more measured response to external events. Enhanced mental focus. Dharana, the conservation of energy, whether interpreted biologically or psychologically, is reported to translate into enhanced cognitive function. By intentionally diverting the mental energy that would typically be consumed by sexual preoccupation or the pursuit of gratification, this energy becomes available for intellectual and creative pursuits. This sustained, non-distracted focus is a hallmark of mental stability, enabling deeper work and improved memory. The stability here is the realization that one's actions are governed by conscious intent, not automatic impulse. This is a powerful, grounding realization. The connection between sexual energy and emotional life is undeniable. Practitioners of SR frequently report a significant change in their emotional landscape, a shift from volatility to equanimity. The concept of energy sublimation or transmutation is key to understanding this emotional stability. Sublimation, in psychological terms, is the redirection of socially unacceptable impulses into personally or socially acceptable activities. When the potent energy associated with the sexual drive is consciously retained, it seeks an outlet. If managed mindfully, often through practices like meditation, intense exercise, or creative work, this energy is channeled into a creative or productive force. The intense drive is not repressed, but transformed. This transmutation manifests as emotional resilience. The internal pool of conserved energy acts as a buffer against emotional shocks. Practitioners report that minor irritations or social slights no longer trigger disproportionate emotional responses. The emotional system stabilizes because its most powerful component, the sexual drive, is no longer being spent or wasted in seeking fleeting gratification. Reduced anxiety and depression. Many modern proponents link the constant search for sexual release to cycles of temporary pleasure, followed by guilt, emptiness, or lethargy, a state of emotional instability. By breaking this cycle, a more level and positive baseline mood is established. The energy, which might have manifested as restless tension, is converted into sustained, productive action, thereby relieving underlying anxiety. Heightened empathy and connection. Counterintuitively, many report an increase in genuine human connection. Having removed the immediate goal of sexual gratification from interpersonal interactions, their focus shifts to genuine engagement, listening, and presence, leading to deeper, more stable relationships. The newfound stability achieved through SR is often perceived externally, altering a man's social and interpersonal dynamics. This is often described as an enhanced presence or aura. While these terms border on the esoteric, they can be understood through measurable behavioral changes. When an individual operates from a place of emotional and psychological stability, their nonverbal communication changes. Voice and posture. The elimination of the post-orgasmic energy crash allows for a more consistent state of physical alertness. Practitioners frequently describe a deeper, more resonant voice and a more upright, confident posture. These physical manifestations of internal stability naturally alter how one is perceived by others, often leading to increased respect and authority in social settings. Unforced confidence. True confidence is not external bravado, but internal conviction. SR cultivates this conviction by proving self-control. This confidence manifests as a quiet, unforced presence in social situations. The practitioner is not seeking validation, which often stems from underlying instability and insecurity, but is simply present, grounded in their own self-worth derived from self-discipline. Masculine polarity. Within interpersonal relationships, this stability is perceived as a consistent, grounded emotional anchor. In the context of polarity, the stable, controlled man provides a reliable foundation, which is highly conducive to harmonious and deeply satisfying relationships, moving away from instability and neediness. This social stability is a feedback loop. Internal discipline creates external presence, which elicits positive social responses, reinforcing the initial internal stability. It is crucial to acknowledge that the promised newfound stability rarely arises from SR in isolation. Nearly all serious practitioners adopt a cluster of complementary holistic practices: meditation, intense exercise, often weightlifting or cardiovascular training, clean diet, and goal setting, as a necessary part of the retention lifestyle. Semen retention acts as a powerful catalyst or anchor for this holistic change. Meditation and mindfulness. SR creates an energetic and psychological challenge that often forces the practitioner to adopt meditation. The conserved energy, if left unmanaged, can become restless or anxious. Mindfulness practices provide the necessary container for this energy, teaching the individual how to observe and channel it consciously, converting raw power into grounded stability. Exercise and diet. The claimed increase in energy requires a physical outlet. Intense physical training becomes a natural partner to the practice, preventing stagnation and actively driving the sublimation of energy into physical strength and endurance. Similarly, a cleaner diet supports the sustained, high-energy state. In this light, SR is not the source of stability. It is the gatekeeper to a stable lifestyle. The discipline required for retention prevents self-sabotage across all other domains, effectively forcing the adoption of stable, healthy habits. The resulting newfound stability is the synergistic outcome of high discipline, mindfulness, and a healthy body, all of which are initiated and maintained by the commitment to retention. While the benefits cited by practitioners are compelling, a complete examination must address the criticisms and potential pitfalls of the practice. The main concern lies in the potential for repression rather than transmutation. If the sexual drive is merely suppressed without conscious, mindful redirection, it can lead to psychological strain, irritability, and unhealthy obsession. True stability requires integration, not avoidance. A dogmatic, obsessive focus on the streak can replace one form of instability, uncontrolled desire, with another, fear of failure. Furthermore, the practice is sometimes linked to inflated, sometimes cult-like rhetoric and pseudoscientific claims that promise superhuman abilities. A balanced, stable approach requires separating the verifiable psychological and behavioral benefits, discipline, focus, energy baseline, from the hyperbolic and unproven physiological promises. The true value lies in the disciplined intent and the lifestyle structure it imposes, not in any magical biological effect. Stability is found by integrating, not by fearing, one's own power. The pursuit of semen retention as a pathway to newfound stability is a modern manifestation of ancient principles of self-control and energy conservation. While the specific biological mechanisms may be subject to scientific debate, the psychological and behavioral outcomes are consistently reported. Enhanced discipline, reduced impulsivity, consistent energy, and greater emotional equilibrium. The stability achieved is a multifaceted phenomenon. It is built on a physiological foundation of avoiding the post-orgasmic energy crash, supported by the psychological pillars of self-mastery and reduced impulsivity, and sustained by the mindful redirection, sublimation, of powerful creative energy. Ultimately, semen retention serves as a profound disciplinary anchor, a high-stakes commitment that compels the individual to adopt a holistic lifestyle of rigorous health, mindfulness, and purpose. The stability is not a passive gift of retained fluid, but the earned reward of profound self-mastery. The practice compels the individual to shift from living a life driven by reactive, unstable pleasure-seeking to one governed by proactive, grounded intent. This is the enduring lesson and the ultimate source of its promised stability. Join the Retain to Thrive Telegram channel at the link below, where we focus on building discipline, overcoming distractions, and achieving goals. Join the supportive community sharing tips, motivation, and accountability. Let's grow together, one step at a time. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and share the video.